conference will now be recorded.
Hello there, everyone. I'm Sandy Anastasi. And as I get started, let me just quickly ask someone in the chat, uh, Lisa, perhaps, can you see me and hear me? Is all good in our presentation mode? Okay, Lisa's saying yes. Thank you, my friend. Okay, folks, we're going to get started with our Q&A for this evening. Um, I thought long and hard on this, and I realized that this is about the right time as we're moving into beginning a new psychic development class for this current year. It occurred to me that it's a really good idea to hold a session like this where I get to answer your questions. And this way, as we go into the series of classes, you already have a good foundation and we get to know each other through this Q&A and you get to find out more about the program. So this particular session is for people who are already enrolled in the program. So if you're enrolled and you're here, you're in the right place. And it's also been opened to friends that you might want to bring with you so they can find out more about it, and also to basically anyone who wants to learn about the Anastasi system of psychic development, just to get a feel for is this maybe something that you might want to be interested in joining with. Okay, so I want to welcome everyone. Thank you so much. In the chat room, you're going to see my assistant, Lisa, and she's also quite capable of answering a lot of questions, especially questions about any technical issues or things that you might have trouble finding or how to register and things like that. So she can certainly answer those questions for you. I have a couple of things that I'd like to show you relative to how your class actually functions and how you get to go through it and learn psychic development right here online. And we're going to talk about that a little bit so that you have a much better understanding of how the whole program works. I think that's important. But mostly we're here tonight to answer your questions. So what I think I'd like to do first is to just kind of get a list. Let me see if I can get a list of people here. Sometimes I can see that. Yeah, here we go. And I'm going to be going through and asking each one of you if you have any particular questions as we move into the program this evening. It's only going to be about an hour long, but I really I want to find out why you want to be in the program, or if you're thinking about it, what interests you about it. I also want to find out what your biggest question right now relative to developing your own psychic abilities is. So I'm going through a list. Okay, nobody's being called on in any specific order, other than that you're in a certain place on the list that came up on my screen. And the first one on my list is Diana. So, Diana, if you can unmute yourself, you can speak, or if you can't, you can certainly type in the chat room. And I want to know, what's your biggest question that you have right now about developing your own psychic ability? What do you want to get out of a program like this? How can I serve you? Diana, are you unmuted? I can't hear you.
Are you trying to talk to me?
Okay. Uh, I guess so. Your name is Diana, and I
No,
can
I'm
hear
not
you.
I'm not Diana. I'm Sharon. But it's weird because the screen, when it comes up, it'll say special free event, and it's like a call that comes in.
Uh-huh.
So just for so I answered it because I thought, well, maybe since Diana's not answering, but I'm really Sharon. I've
Okay.
been a
And
student.
Sharon Holmes.
That's me, and
Okay.
I've
So
been a
Diana
student.
might have just stepped away. That's possible. Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
Sharon, let me ask you the same question and we'll start with you.
So I've been a student before. So in 2017, I was your student and Carl's student at the same time. And I got an awful lot out of the first time I took the course and had a lot of success. And then I think I got a little sloppy in being able to protect myself. And so then I kind of decided I needed to be really careful. And so now I've decided I'm brave enough to do this again.
Oh, so it's kind of like you're coming out of hiding.
I am. That's it.
Okay, good, good. And Sharon, the fact that you've been through the program before, is really going to be a benefit to everybody else who's taking it, because it creates that, you know what to expect. You see,
Yes.
you've got some of those skills already developed, so it's going to be uplifting for everybody else who's able to, be able to be in the same group with you. So I appreciate your being here and repeating the class with me.
Thank you.
And I think you're going to get a whole lot out of it. I have new things I'm bringing in. You're going to love it.
I'm excited. And I really
Very good.
enjoyed that one session that we did towards the end where you opened up our third eye. That was a miraculous experience.
And we're going to do that again too.
So thank you. I'm excited
Yes.
about that.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay. I'm going
And
back to mute now.
well, yeah. And Sharon, I can come back to you later. You're not, you can ask more than one question. But I
Okay.
see Diana she seems to not be able to get herself unmuted. So she is in the chat room. Diana, I did see you unmuted just for a moment. So let me see if I can unmute you on my end. Sometimes I can do that. Nope, it's not letting me unmute just you. Isn't that odd? It says I can send you an unmute request, but you have to do the unmuting yourself. Hopefully, we'll get that straightened out by next time we meet. Okay. Um, but I think Lisa said, write your question here, and that way I can still answer it for you. And you said, you answered her. You said, I'm very curious about how it all works, and I want to learn more. And, Diana, that's a really good question. So, your question wasn't specifically about developing your own abilities, but how does the whole thing all work together? And that's a really, really good question. One of the things that I'm most excited about when I teach these classes is teaching people how to navigate what I call the worldwide psychic web. I see and my guides see everything and every human being in the entire universe as being connected to each other. And so, yeah, we can feel each other's emotions, each other's energies. We can connect with each other mentally. Our higher selves and our guides can connect to each other. It's really very, very fascinating how it all works. And I try as I go through these classes to share as much of that as I possibly can with you, so that you can kind of see it through my eyes. One of the things that I experienced just recently myself, in a class that I was taking, believe it or not, with a well-known marketer, and I was really interested in how he said this. He said, "I want people to connect with me because the things that I know and that I can do are not completely transmutable by word of mouth, by words, or by pictures. It's almost like you've got to be in my space to be able to absorb it." And when I heard him say that, I thought, oh my goodness, he's talking about, here's a marketing person. He's talking about how psychic energy works, you see? So, Diana, by being here, by being connected to the group, um, the whole experience that we're having together is something where it's like, the if you've heard that statement where the whole is greater than the sum of the parts, that's what happens in these classes. I'm leading them and I'm teaching you how to open the door within yourself to your own capabilities and your own skills. And as you develop and as all the other people in the group develop, that gestalt becomes almost like a wave of psychic energy that uplifts everyone. So, yes, you can study and develop all these things on your own independently. Thank God you can. Otherwise, so many people in the world who don't have access to a program like this would not be able to really develop themselves. So, they can do it on their own, but it takes so much longer. And by doing it in the group, it's going to be so exciting. And you're going to be able to exchange ideas and feelings and practice with other people. And I've got a couple of little secrets up my sleeves for those of you who have odd time schedules and can't practice easily with one another. I've got a solution for that we're going to learn, and we're going to learn it together, and you guys are going to have so much fun with it. So, and Diana says, of course, I do want to develop my own abilities too. And let me say, Diana, you're going to be absolutely amazed at what you're able to do as we go through these classes, as things unfold. And you say, wow, I had no idea I was doing those things. And now I understand what they are. I've got somebody else in here. Kelly, who says, I'm having mic issues that I hope to have fixed very soon. I'm a teacher of the Anastasi system. Yes, I know you, Kelly. Hi. And Kelly says, I've been studying with Sandy for over 20 years. I've taught classes in the past, and I'm being drawn to be a student at this time. Back in the day, we had classes in person. Yeah, I remember them too. And she attended. Ooh, I'm looking for where it just moved. This is a long one. I'm reading it. At any rate, she said, I attended many of those live classes for years. And with that said, I learned something new in every single class. So here I am. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the class. And oh my goodness, Kelly, I'm so glad that you are here. Uh, Folks, let me share this with you. Do not be intimidated. If you're brand new and you've never studied anything in psychic development before, you're here for a reason. And it might just be because someone like Kelly, who is actually a confirmed teacher of the system and is a very adept psychic herself, and it's possibly because she's here, because her energy will help to uplift the whole class. It's really amazing how that gestalt, that worldwide psychic web works. Um, but just a little bit earlier, we heard from Sharon, who reminded us that she had also taken the class in the past. And so right away, we've got a couple of people in the room. Lisa is a teacher also. I'm trying looking down my list if there are any other teachers here. I think that we are when we actually go live with the class, and I don't see them here tonight, but we have at least two more people in addition to Kelly who are certified teachers. And so you're going to find that if you're partnering with one of these people, or they're helping to answer your questions, that you're actually benefiting from their vibration as they're in the class. It's just, it creates more magic. So, Kelly and Sharon, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And I want to also share that if you're a repeat student, as Sharon is, or teacher, as Kelly is, you also are going to gain phenomenally from the class because every time I teach these classes, I bring in new things. And this year, especially, and this is an information for you, Kelly, specifically, but for everybody here, we are on the brink of an explosion of everything in our world. Everything in our world is getting ready to shift and change into a whole new system of being. And I am going to bring that energy into this class. I'm going to teach you how to work with things, how to move forward in a way that's going to put you not just in the psychic world, but in whatever your world consists of at the top of what you can achieve and want to achieve. So you're going to look back at this class and say, oh my God, I am so glad that I participated in it, that I was glad that I learned so much about how not just my own skills work, but how psychic energy works and how it works within the world to come. Because I'm going to be setting you up, not just in your case, Kelly, to teach classes in the early 21st century, but to teach classes in the second half of the 21st century, i.e., you are going to be in the wave of people who are learning the future of psychic development, of psychic ability, and where it's going, not just where it's been. This is going to be really exciting. Lisa's saying hello to Fur. Nice to meet you here again, Fur. Fur is also a past student. Thank you for being here, Fur. And Lisa says in this class, we're going to have a few teachers, returning students, and we have new people. It's a perfect, wonderful mix. And in a way, it's like, uh, why do I group all the people together? Because it actually works better when we have all these different levels. You're just going to be amazed at the magical experience that can be achieved with a group of people that are mixed in all the different things that they're developing and learning. So I'm going to go back. I think, Diana, did you have any other question or did I answer yours? And you can either try to unmute again or you can answer in the chat. I can see the chat too. So, okay, Diana says yes. She says that's it. Thank you. And Fur, you're back again. I'm gonna ask you to come on in and tell us why'd you come back and what are you hoping to get out of this class this year?
Well, I love last year's class. I really hope to have more time and devote myself more time to the class. I've been practicing doing some things, and I would like to become better with the skills.
And your skills are already extremely good. So I just can't wait to see what your next steps are going to be. This is going to be very, very exciting. Can I ask you one more thing? If you were to give one sentence of advice to the people who are brand new to the classes that I teach, what would that advice be that would help them to get the best, the most out of the classes?
Trust information and trust what you feel.
Oh, especially trust what you feel. Very good, Fur. Yes, thank you. Okay, remember that, folks, from the man himself. Thank you. Okay, and then Gibran, you're next. So you can either unmute or you could put your comment or your question if you have one in the chat. You might have stepped away. That's possible. Okay, Gibran, I'm going to come back to you. Okay, maybe you're having trouble getting your mic open. I will come back. Jamie, you're next on my list. Hmm. Do I have a problem with unmuting people?
Hello.
Yes, Jamie, I hear you.
Hey, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
Uh,
Okay, and Gibran is in the chat. Gibran, hang on a minute, Jamie, don't hang up. But
okay.
Gibran, if you can't unmute your mic, then just go ahead and write your question in the chat. And when Jamie is done, then I can move over to you and I'll read it from the chat, okay?
Yes,
Okay,
I can unmute. I can write it. Good, Jamie.
okay.
Go ahead. I'll write the question.
Yeah, let me do Jamie first and I'll come back to you, Gibran, okay? I'm glad you got the mic unmuted. Okay, Jamie, what's your question?
Okay. Will through this program, will I be able to better identify what part of the psychic development that I'm more natural at? Like what
Yes, you
aspect
will.
of it?
Uh-huh, absolutely. Jamie, you're probably going to be starting to get very familiar with that in level one. It's going to happen fast. Level one will consist of our first three sessions, and we're going to be really learning about how our energy works. We're going to be doing a lot of work with meditation. We're going to be doing work to understand how different things work energetically. And then in level two, we're actually working with energy and we're going to be sending and receiving thoughts right in level one. You're going to find out pretty quickly what your capabilities are. Okay, in levels one, two, and three, we're developing the basic skills, and those basic skills would be your obviously the ability to feel other people's emotion. That's empathy. The ability to both read and, by the way, also send emotion. You're going to be able to do both receptive and generative empathy. We're also going to learn about receptive and generative telepathy and how to identify it and how to separate from what's telepathy and what's empathy. We're going to learn both of those skills. And you're going to find out between those what you're better at or worse at. We're also in level two going to be working with developing your ability to see energy, like to see auras. And a lot of times we are actually using our clairvoyance all day long and we don't know it. I'm going to teach you how to recognize when you're using it and because everybody has it and everybody uses it to different degrees. So those are the real basic ones, but we're going to be even learning skills like psychometry. That's reading the vibrations on an object. We're going to be learning about clear aliens, which is psychic sense. We're going to learn about all of these things. And you're going to learn how to access them yourself. And obviously, the ones that come really easily are going to be the ones you're best at. Okay. But you will be able to do everything that I teach. And I always think to myself that the things that come easily and that you're naturally blessed with are the things that you probably work very hard on in other lifetimes. And the things that come a little harder are the things you're learning for the first time in this lifetime. The point is, everybody can do everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's important. You're capable of all of the things I'm teaching, but some will come easier.
Okay. Do we
Yeah,
cover any dream interpretation?
right from the first session.
Oh,
Absolutely.
great. Okay.
That's when most people, at least initially, are not able to connect with their higher self except in the dream state. But your higher self does give you dreams. And so we're going to learn how to identify a dream that comes from the higher self as well. Those are good questions,
Great.
Jamie.
Thank
Yeah,
you. All right.
yeah.
I'm
I think
excited.
you're going to love it. Okay.
Thank you.
And over here in the chat, Lisa's commenting. She says, one of my favorite parts of the class is dreams and dream interpretation. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Gibran. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Gibran, what's your question?
Yes. Hi, Sandy. Thank you very much for helping us with what you do. My question, I'm also a returning student, as Sharon was, and I'm also wondering if returning, learning everything over again, will it be helpful, or is this really just for my own curiosity and
Oh,
pleasure?
what a good question, Gibran. Um, here's the way it works. I encourage people to go through the entire system of classes, either with me or on their own, at least 3 times, period, no matter what your level of ability is when you begin. And here's the reason why. The first time through, it's like watching a movie for the first time, right? And you're getting the plot and you're getting who did what to who and you're really excited about what comes next, but you're missing all the details. The second time through that you're watching that movie, you actually enjoy it more if it was a good movie because now your brain is in 3 steps ahead. You're actually looking at how the things are being done and those little nuances the different characters are doing. And you're saying, oh, I never realized what a good actor that one was. And you see, you get what I'm talking about? You get those extra things that you don't see the first time, that you don't feel. And then the third time, you actually almost know the script. You know, you're ready to dive in and to really make it happen. So relative to psychic development, the first time through, what everybody is getting is the exposure to all of the skills and all of the abilities and an understanding of how it works. But they're not getting all those little extra things that make it really come together, right? The second time through, it's almost like it's a different class, Jabron, because you now have the experience of that first time through. With that experience, your ears, your eyes are going to be able to see and grasp different things than they did the first time. So all of a sudden, something I said the first time through that was just interesting, the second time through, and by the way, it's different because it's a different class, but the second time through, even the movie that isn't changed, okay, you're going through all of these different tools that are in the class, and it's almost like you're hearing things that you didn't even know were there the first time. It's like, wow, I had no idea that was part of what we were learning. And I'm amazed I missed it. Now, the third time through is when you take all of those abilities that you now have thorough understanding and you really hone them and you become brilliant in your execution of those abilities. So if you, for example, go into as a past student, and anybody here who's registered can do this now, if you go into the community that's associated with the class on my website and you type in and you say, if you've been through the classes 1 time, 2 times, or 3 times, can you tell me what the difference to you was at each level? And it really would be interesting to read about that, to what different people say, because it definitely has a different effect. And each time you grow more and more and more. So the answer is yes. And I want you to know I've also, now I say go through them at least twice because the first time is an overview, the second time you dig deep. 3 times brings you to a professional level. Okay. Now, if you are like some of my students and you come back year after year after year after year, and I have had students who've been with me at this point for 6 years. Every year I teach this, and every year they're back in the class. And when I ask them why are they back, they say it's like a brand new class every year. Why? because the new class has new students. It has a different mix of students. It has a different vibration. We all have guides that contribute to the class. We all have higher selves that contribute to the class. And since I channel in my classes and I'm channeling information from your guides, I'm channeling them from your higher self as well as from you telepathically, emotionally, empathically. And guess what? That means that these Wednesday night classes that we usually are on are different every single time. Now, the movie that's on the website won't change. The initial classes that give you how, what you're supposed to learn, that's on the website. I'll show you that in a few minutes so you'll know what I'm talking about. Those won't change. But those classes that are live with me, different every time. And those classes alone are worth retaking the class for. Did that answer your question?
Yes, Sandy, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And that was a little bit long-winded. I apologize.
Not at all.
I tend to over deliver. Okay. Lisa's in the chat. She said, if you did a self-study the first time through, taking this online with Sandy is a whole different experience. That's kind of cool too, because we have a lot of people here who've done this as a self-study, just studying via the books or studying via the movies that are that are on the website that you can purchase separately. We do have people who have that experience, but taking the class live, especially in a group that's interactive, whole different animal. Okay. Wow. Thanks. That was a great question, Gibran. Thank you. And Jamie, I think I had talked to you earlier, but or not? Can you unmute and ask your question? You're next on my list. I think I pointed to you before, but I can't seem to. At any rate, if you come back and say, "Hey, she was calling on me and I didn't answer," just put your question in the chat and we'll come back. Fur is in the chat. He says he agrees with what I was telling Jabron 100%. Thanks, Fur. Now, Judy, you're next on my list. What's your question? Judy might have stepped away. I can come back to you too. And we talked to Kelly. Okay, Kim. Kim, did you have a question you might want to ask?
Well, I am very excited to take the class with you. And I had an in-person class with Carl, and I did an online class with Carl and Karen Arbuckle. And I am fairly new at all of this. I'm older. I came into this in my 60s here, my mid 60s. And I'm basically just trying to learn as much as I can learn. I didn't understand a whole lot in the other classes, but after a year and a half to almost 2 years, I'm
Some of
figuring
the
out
things, yeah.
figuring out some of it. I figured out I'll never learn it all, but I want to mainly learn how to protect myself a lot better. And I have been doing a lot of practice readings. I have me an office that I would like to do readings out of, but I'm just enjoying it and just trying to see, why I have awakening at 63. Of course, I'm 65 now, so I'm just excited to be here.
I get it. I get it. Me too. And Kim, let me just say that I think, first of all, I think the classes you took with Carl and you're just going to absolutely that find out that they were a great foundation for you, and it's really, really going to help you as we move into these classes. And I think the classes with me here are going to be so much easier. As a teacher, I tend to be a little bit more like Karen than like Carl, where it's funny, those of you who haven't studied with Carl and Karen wouldn't see this, but it's almost like they're a team that complements one another. Karen
Yeah.
tends to be very rigid, and she's sitting there with the book in her lap and saying, "Carl, you forgot this word," And Carl is all over the place because he's tuning into the group energy, and wherever it takes him, he goes, you see.
Yes,
So it's a really
yes,
interesting dynamic just to watch them teach, and they are very, very good. Um,
yes.
the thing that you're going to find with me though, Kim, is I'm more like Karen in that I'm more linear in how I work through things, which is why not only do you get the class, but you get the book. With each class, you're going to have a full movie that actually covers a 2-day live class. With each class, you're going to have the original webinars that I presented that covers all the material in the book. It matches the books perfectly. We are going to have, I'll show you when we get into, I'm going to show you this a little bit later, how this all works together, but you're actually going to have a way of finding where every one of the meditations I do is, so you can go back and re-listen to them at any time,
Okay.
i.e. My classes are more, um, they're more visual because of all the picture stuff that you're going to get on the screen, but they're also very orally, they proceed. And, with the age you are, which is not older than me, I've got to tell you, I'm older, I got you. Okay. But our generation learned in a linear way, and our minds still work that way. So you're going to find this easier to follow. But the classes you took before
Uh-huh.
really helped you to let go and open the intuitive side of you. So it's going to be a nice combination for you. And you can let me know when it's done how it worked. I'd love to hear about that.
Okay.
I think it's almost like the things they would teach you are now going to start to fall into little slots in your mind.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
that's what I was hoping. Yes, I'm understanding a lot more. So I'm just excited to see how much I learn.
You're going to have fun with it. And welcome. I'm glad you're going to be here.
Oh,
So
thank you.
obviously you're already registered. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now, I also, we do have, oops, apparently she wasn't able to get her mic unmuted. I'm going to go all the way back. Jamie, she said, will we be covering numerology? I see the same numbers every day and numbers coming in my dreams too. Jamie, that's a good question. And I will be talking about dreams and all different kinds of symbols that come up in dreams, but this isn't specifically a dream class, okay? So we're going to touch on it, but it's not a huge part of the class. Likewise, we will touch upon numerology as a tool, but we're not going to go into it in a really deep way, except for what comes up through dreams or through things you might be seeing visually as you move through your daily life. However, one of the things that I really encourage my students to do is to join the VIP membership. Even if you just do it for the time period that we're going through the classes, it's $20 a month, so it's not a huge expense. And in that membership, there are fully downloadable, and I encourage you to download them. That way they're yours to keep forever, even if you drop the membership. There's a whole class on numerology. There's a whole class, actually several classes on dreams. Okay. The entire psychic development series is in there on MP3 if you just want to listen to it in the car or whatever. The thing is, there are over 200 fully downloadable MP3 classes in there, and a lot of the tools that I can't go into in a lot of depth in this class because I'm wanting to teach you to develop the psychic abilities. The tools are an addendum to those psychic abilities, you see. But if you wanted to get deeper into the tools, even astrology, I've got an astrology whole class that could take you a year and a half of study in the VIP. It's well worth the $20 a month. Okay. At any rate, that's what I would encourage you to do. We are going to touch upon it. You are going to have a better understanding of how to work with it. But if you really want to go down deep, then you need the class that's in the VIP. Or you can go to the numerology class. I think there's one right on the front of the site. There's a quick class, and you might enjoy that too. That's a little more expensive. It's video, but from my perspective, the audio class is just as good, and it's a lot less expensive. So now Judy has a question that I passed over her before, also in the chat. She says, oh no, she says, I don't have a question. I took the class with you before, and I'm hoping to re-register this year. I just need to wait for what's happening with my job. I came here to listen and get hope that all works out and I can take these again. I truly love taking your classes. Judy, I'm going to suggest that you get with Lisa and you guys work something out. Okay. The class is 5 months long, and she will be able to help you to get some form of terms that you'll be able to make it work, okay, this year. I hope that we're going to get to see you work with Lisa. She is amazing at how she can make things all of a sudden come together. And you may find that your job is still right there where you need it to be, too. Okay. Things are changing, but in a good way. Okay. That's a good question. Thank you. And anybody else who's having issues with the payment or payment problems, again, I'm going to say talk to Lisa. I can't give the class away for free, but Lisa can make it work regardless of if you want to take it, she'll find a way of making it work. Okay. We talked to Kelly. I think we talk to you too, right? So I guess the next one on my list here is Mary Ann.
Hi,
Hi there.
Sandy. Um, so I'm here to learn. It's really not easy for me to talk like this. Sorry. And I guess one of the I have been living in both worlds my whole life, and have and truly need at this point I figured out, in addition to learning skills and tools, I need to learn how to develop the confidence and trust in myself. And
Oh, we better believe
in
it.
yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to share?
No, that's it. Thank you. I'm
Marianne, I
excited.
think this class is going to be made for you. I really do. Um, not only are you going to have the opportunity to work with getting the daily feedback from the world around you, which is a confidence developer, you're going to have the ability to work with other students in the class and some of the teachers. That's incredibly amount of fun. At one point in the classes, we bring on our teachers from the whole system, and they sit for you at any time of day that you want. You call them from wherever you're from, or you can do it right online, and you do readings for them for practice, and you get feedback from people who are pros, who are really accomplished. So you really develop that confidence because of that practice that is so hard to get in daily life. Now, I want to say in advance, nobody has to do that. There's nothing in this class that we ever force anyone to do. So if you're shy and you don't want to work with somebody else, you don't have to. Okay. So just remember that. But the thing is, the opportunity is there, and it's a great way to develop confidence at the same time that you're getting a lot of support. I'm also going to be introducing another little trick coming up, and I'll start it pretty soon as we get the class started. And I think you're just going to have so much fun. And for people who want to develop the confidence and want to be able to have a support system, I'm going to show you how to build one into your actual work on an everyday basis. You're going to absolutely love it. Marianne, I think not only are you moving in the right direction to join this class, but I think you're also at the right time. This is the time because I'm giving the whole system that I created a lift into a new dimension this year with what I'm bringing in. Okay, you're going to have fun. I know you are. Thank you and
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, and Michelle, you're on my list here too. Do you have a question or a comment? Michelle might have stepped away.
Do you mean Michael?
Oh, am I reading that wrong? I'm sorry, Michael. Michael, I promise I won't do that again. Michael, are you here?
Well, so I may be Michael if I'm the only Michael on the list.
Yeah, and I just read it too quickly. You were all the way down the bottom of my screen. I just kind of looked at those first three letters. Welcome, Michael. And I'm sorry. I will not make that mistake again. You have a nice deep voice. I know who you are.
No
So,
worries, no worries.
How's your
You
back been?
Hi, Sandy. Yeah, so I am a seeker. I have been a longtime friend and partner of one of your students who is re-enrolling in the class, and I've been shepherded by her and sort of led into a higher level of understanding about all these things. I have not enrolled in the class yet, so I'm just sort of looking at it as a possible opportunity for me to expand my understanding and knowledge in the space. I work primarily, I'm retired. I'm 71 years old. Or 71 years young. I try not to use the word old, but I have a passion that I've been blessed to have found and working with people that have dementia,
Oh, wow.
neurocognitive diseases, and such as Alzheimer's and so forth. And it has become evident to me that there are some of them are non-speakers, so some of them are nonverbal. And I've been inspired by some studies I've made and things that I've read regarding the ability to communicate and the ability to connect with these people that are non-speakers on a level of telepathy and essentially communicating without having to use words. And I'm extremely intrigued by this area and have become a believer in the power and the and the and the wonderful things that can be done with this with this ability. And I know, and I think you're right. I think we all have the ability. Very few people can take advantage of it, I guess, or do take advantage of it. So I'm just a curious seeker and I'm fascinated by all of it. And I guess if I had a question, I would ask about the notion of being able to relate or communicate psychically with people that are nonverbal.
Oh, absolutely. You're going to learn things about that that will absolutely rock your world. It's all part and parcel of it. I want to just share a quickie little story from my own life. I have a very close friend who has dementia. Um, he is going into, God, it's got to be his 12th or 13th year of it. And he still can recognize people. He can still speak, carry on a conversation. His retention isn't so good, but he does remember everybody. He still can move around the house. He still can do the basic things for himself. Now his body is going to die before his mind. How often do you see that in dementia, Michael? And most of
Uh,
that's happening because when he first got it, something like 13 years ago, I taught him how to connect with his higher self. So even though his brain is literally being eaten away, he can still think with his higher self. He's been functional all this time.
Uh, so
Yeah,
we tell I tell all my patients that the one thing I can guarantee them is that their brain comes with a lifetime guarantee. It'll be the last organ that's moving or that's functioning when whatever else takes them out. But the only question is how well will it be functioning? And
that's right.
so,
Yeah.
that's the my passion and mission is to try to help people preserve their brain function.
I think you're going to learn invaluable things about how to help people with dementia, not to cure dementia. That's going to be for the doctors. But I think that you're going to learn tremendous tools that can help that communication and can help these people to be functional and to be able to still connect with their family members right up until their last days. And Michael, bless your heart for doing something very special with what you're doing.
Thank you,
Every
thank
moment
you.
you
I
count
feel
is a win. It's wonderful.
uh,
Lisa's in the chat, and she says, I worked in a mental hospital for 17 years. And if I had known then about psychic energy and awareness that I know now, I could have helped so many more of our residents. Knowing this information can be life changing for those we work with. And, all of you who are talking about this are also talking about a whole different aspect of the psychic world that we often overlook. everybody thinks that psychic development is for people who want to become psychics. And, most of now, mind you, I have a lot of professional psychics that I graduate. A lot of people are doing readings, teaching classes, writing books all over the world. But not all of them. The great majority of the people I graduate from my classes are still in the same jobs they've always been in, or maybe they've now got the courage to go into the job they always wished they had, and they were able to get it because they have these psychic skills now. Most of the people I graduate from my classes are using their psychic skills to live better lives, to be happier, to be able to accomplish more, to be able to work with their family members, and to be able to just move into a higher spiritual level themselves, to embrace a broader understanding of our universe. So this is just wow. All I can say is that this is a great place to be, and I really hope that all of you who are either in the class already or decide to join the class are really, really going to get out of it everything that is there to get, because there's a lot. There's a whole lot. Okay, before I move on to show you some of the things I want to show you, are there any other questions that have just come up along the way? Just unmute your mic and ask. You don't have to. I don't. In this particular program that we're using, I don't have. You know, we have a react button, but that's a pain, and I don't see anybody who's got their hand raised. So just open your mic and ask your question if you have one, or put it in the chat. Any more questions? Okay, and remember, you can do that throughout the rest. If you have a question, just put it in the chat. I am seeing the chat as I move through this. So if you have a question, I will be glad to answer it along the way. Lisa is here, and she says, as we understand and unfold our own intuitive skills, I lost the rest of that, Lisa. Maybe you were typing it to somebody I don't see. That could be. Okay, at any rate, it sounded good. Okay, so I'm going to move to my next slide here. Oh, she says, here I see it. She says, as we understand and unfold our own intuitive skills, we can reach out to so many more people in our work, our families, our communities. It's a never-ending gift to ourselves and others. Well, well said, Lisa. Oh, and I should have also introduced Lisa to everybody. Not only am I the originator of the program, um, the Anastasi system of psychic development, but as I teach, Lisa is always here in the chat room with us, supporting all my work. You actually are interconnecting with Lisa constantly all through the program, and she is really your very, very best asset. Okay, she's really a phenomenal help to all the work that we do here, all of us. Okay, I'm not going to go through all of this, but you are going to get a copy sent to you of this webinar. And so you can go back if you want, you can take a screenshot of this, but this gives you kind of an overview of what each one of the 6 levels is going to be teaching. Each level meets 3 weeks, okay? So you'll have 3 different things that you're dealing with during the course of those levels. And of course, each level has its own book, each level has its own 12-hour movie associated with it. Each level has its own webinar that's associated with it. There will be 3 webinars, one for each week. So this is a very, very comprehensive program. You're going to learn a lot, and all of this is going to be contained, I'll show you in a moment, with an online library that will be yours to keep forever. And you can go back and retake the course on your own. You can go back and review certain areas of it. I'm going to show you about that and you'll love it. But this kind of gives you an overview here. This is why I included it. And of course, who's psychic? And I don't think I have to argue this with you. Everybody in the world is psychic. What's interesting is that most people don't know they're psychic, but they are. And the fact that people are psychic and not knowing it can make dealing with them very difficult. Okay, so they might not be awakened to their abilities yet, but you are. And armed with your knowledge as a psychic helps you to navigate through society better. You'll come to understand not just that somebody's angry and it's making you feel angry, you're going to understand that they're angry about something else and just directing it at you because they don't know how to control it. And so you don't have to react to it because it doesn't occur, it doesn't affect you. It doesn't involve you in your world. It's really interesting how learning to control your own psychic abilities gives you a much happier life. Okay. So everybody is psychic. And as you develop your psychic abilities, you're going to be better, not only better able to work with all of your own skills and tools and the things you want to do in your own life, but you're going to navigate everything around you better as well. And if for no other reason, that's a great reason to take this course. Right now, we live in a society where people are just so um, emotionally, tense. They're tied up. They're frustrated. They're fearful, and so most people are a lot of times you just don't know what you're going to deal with next. Is that person you're about to make a phone call to, are they happy or sad? Are they going to dump on you? Are they going to help you? It's very difficult because people are so wired. Well, guess what? Psychic development can help you with all of that. And it can help you, as Mike was talking about just before. Mike? Michael, sorry. Anyway, what he was talking about with in the whole world of dementia, if you can reach out to somebody in a sense of love and consciously project that love, you can calm them down very quickly. And we learn how to do those things in psychic development. So this program is worth its weight in gold just because of those abilities. And the next slide I have here, kind of moving fast, I think I might have covered this, but I said, how do I know if my own psychic ability is awakening and how do you develop it? Well, I'm going to show you the tools. We've already talked about it. I'm going to show you the program. So you're going to get a close-up look at it in this last couple of minutes of class. But how do you know your own ability is awakening? The first way that you're going to know that it's waking up is that you begin to realize that you're moving through life with an awareness of what's going on that you didn't used to have. So you're noticing things, you're paying attention to things. You might be getting dreams. You might I call it being in the right place at the right time. And you're beginning to recognize that synchronicity is helping to guide your life. There are 1,001 ways that your own guides begin to come through when your psychic ability wakes up because they're wanting you to live your best life. And everybody who's here, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're here, your psychic ability is awakening because otherwise you wouldn't have joined this session. Just that simple. Your guides guide you here. Back when I owned my bookstore, it was normal for people on the highway 2 miles away to suddenly have the urge to get off at that exit, drive down into town, and stop in front of my store and come in and say, I don't know why I'm here, but I have to be here. What is this place? Okay. When you are awakening, your guides help you to be where you need to be when you need to be. That goes back to what Fer was saying. Learn to pay attention to your own feelings. That was the best advice I think, Fer, that I've ever heard. Okay, very, very good. So I also wanted to tell you if you do want to register, um, you can go to www.sandyanastasia to register for this year's Anastasi System Psychic Development course. It's got those 6 levels I showed you before. You can also join my VIP, even if you don't register for the class. You can join my VIP and study just the MP3s for $20 a month. Download them, have them forever. You can study my psychic protection tips. That's important. The full course on my website. Okay. There is a psychic protection program right in my VIP as well. Just psychic protection. You can study my psychic protection tips and my psychic development tips on my YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel is Sandy Anastasi 25 on YouTube. Okay. I also wrote books for each session. So you can read the Anastasi System of Psychic Development 6-book series. You can purchase it either on my website or on Amazon. It's all sold through Amazon. So you can just go through Amazon. or you can purchase the MP4 videos that I sell separately on my website, and that's at www.sandyanastasi.com. Okay, now I'm talking all about the website, and I want to show you a little bit about what this website's all about. Okay, um, all of you have been to the website to register for this session, or at least a lot of you have. Some of you went direct, I think. But on the website, you're going to find this first page, and all the way at the top of the first page, you see where it says My Library. Well, as soon as you register for the program, you are going to be, I like that, it's deciding that it wants to write. I don't know why it's doing that, but let's move this. Maybe that'll stop. I'm sorry, folks, you're going to have writing on your screen that I don't understand why it's doing that. It decided to write my voice. Maybe it's important. You're going to have written instructions. Okay, but when you look at the home page, you're going to see my library. You're going to be in that library a lot. As soon as you register, three things are going to go into your personal library on the website. The first, of course, is the invitation to all the free things on my free tab and my newsletter. So automatically when you register for the program, you're going to be involved with those. They're free. And yeah, she says you have to log in when you first get your course. So thanks, Lisa. You will have to log into the library. And if you click forever, you won't have to log in again. But if you don't, you might have to log in every time. Now, if you have the app, yes, I have an app. You also can log into your library on the app. So you can do everything on the app that you can do on the website. So this becomes very mobile for you. So what happens when you go into the library? When you click on the library, you're going to see a lot of courses on my case, because I have all the courses on mine. But what you're going to see is those first two things. And then you're also going to see your psychic development program right here. Isn't that beautiful? So you're going to be able to go into your psychic development program. And in the program, I'll move things around here. Maybe I have too many screens open. Give me a moment to sort this out, because this should have gone yeah, here it is. In the program, as I move down, yeah, I'm working on a smaller screen. Here's your psychic development program, okay? And at the top, you're going to see where it says psychic development program, and it says resume course. So whatever level you're at, it'll automatically bring you to that point. You don't have to go through it all every time. Now, here's our first week. You get a welcome. You get stuff about me. You can look at that on your own. You get the list of class dates and the Zoom link. Please remember the dates are going to be extended by one. Okay. I think Lisa has sent that out to everyone, because we put this Q&A in first, so that puts an extra class on the end. You're going to get outlines and objectives, a bonus mediumship mini class that's part of it. It gives you a place to click on it, and access to the chrono guide. Now that chrono guide is important. I'm going to go over this, by the way, when we meet again, when we start our class. So if this is confusing, I can slow the whole thing down and show it to you specifically, so you won't be lost. But that chrono guide is worth its weight in gold. What it does is it allows you to go into the video, each video, and break it down and find exactly where a meditation is, or where a particular tool that I'm teaching is. Say you wanted to go back over scrying, you can look in the chrono guide, and it'll tell you exactly where in the video scrying begins, and you'll be able to pick it up and re-listen to just that section. So that's particularly nice to have that. Had a student give that to me as a gift a while back, and I thought that was the most beautiful gift I've ever had. Wonderful. Okay, so you're going to start with level 1. Now, when we open level 1, here's what you're going to see. Okay, this is your movie. So when you click on the movie, you're actually going to get me teaching.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
That's my
I'm Ron
husband.
Tourville, and I'm here to welcome you this morning to the Anastasi System of Psychic Development, Level 1. I'd also like to take a moment to tell you
We
just
move ahead a little bit, and there I am doing the
It's
teaching.
not to say, oh, wow, I taught you. My aspiration is to see,
Okay.
wow.
So there I am, a little bit younger. Okay. This is you're going to get 2 days of classes in each level. So there's going to be about 12 hours, 10 to 12 hours of video for each level. And this is taken from an actual class where you actually get to look at students interacting. You get to watch how they're doing things. It goes really deep down so that you can actually see how it's done. So we're not leaving you out and hanging you up to dry. You get to participate here as if you're in the class. Now, also, you get if you look on the right, okay, right side of the screen here, you're going to get a book. And for levels 1 through 3, if your first language is Spanish, we actually have Spanish versions in here for levels 1 through 3. We're working on 5 through 6, but 1 through 3 is done. And they're English or Spanish, so you can download them in each way. These are downloadable, by the way. You can put bookmarks in. Okay, you're going to get psychic development cards to work with, and my psychic development aptitude exercise or test is under the free section. It's also here, so you can get it in both places, and you can also get it as the little test that you get as part of my introduction of my sales funnel to put it out. So you might have already seen or taken that test yourself, but you get the cards here, so you can print them out. You also get the revised test. You get an outline of the workshop. You get instructions for the test so you won't be lost. You get different types of meditations. You get a mandala. You get what colors mean, i.e., in this section, you're going to get all your downloads. You also get, I didn't see it here, but you'll find it when you look through it. You get the entire book. So don't go out and buy the book unless you already bought it. Then you can have the physical book, which is nice. But you get an ebook, which is the book that you can download to your computer or your tablet, and you can work with that book. Okay, so you don't have to buy the book with the class. Like I said, if you want a physical book, I do recommend you buying it because the books can be pretty long. And if you're going to print them out, it's going to use an awful lot of paper and take a lot of time. Lisa's in the chat. She says, don't let those tests scare you. And I agree. Mostly they're for fun, but I use those tests as um, as a means of actually two things: being able to see, if you take what test on level 1, you take the test again, level 2, again in level 3. I like to use that to see my growth, to see how much I'm progressing. So you get a baseline, and then you get to see what's happening with your abilities. Also, you can look at the test. Somebody asked this before in the Q&A. How do I know what I'm really good at? Believe it or not, from that test, you can get a feel for what your best skills are going to be. Okay. And the other thing I have learned over the years is that, guess what? The more you practice with that test, get a partner at home, play it with your husband or your wife, play it with your kids. The more you do it, the better your skills become. So it actually is a way of honing your skills as well. So this gives you an idea how that works. Now back to that, and I love it, shows you the binaural beats. All the stuff is in your program, and you got a place where you can comment. Okay, I would rather comment in the community, but you'll see comments here as well. Questions can be put there. So we have all 6 levels here in your library. Folks, there's nothing like this that's out there online anywhere. This takes you by the hand and it walks you through the entire program. Now, you also have in a different part of your library, let's move here. You also have, where to go? I'm going to have to move over to here. You have your community. Here it is. And if I go into the community, this is where so much happens. Okay. So much happens in this community. This is from the last years. It's a while back. Actually, it wasn't from last year. So you can get to see our community. Our program ended maybe the beginning of end of May last year, and here right after it ended, you're seeing some of our students still communicating with one another. This stays open. You still have access, and this year's community will just go right on top of that. But we have students practicing with each other in here. We have teachers coming in, practicing with the students, or telling them what their solutions were, sharing thoughts, sharing dreams, putting their dream here so that everybody can do dream interpretation. This community is totally private. It's not a Facebook community. This community is on the website. The only people who have access to it are people who either are taking psychic development now or have taken it in the past, and everybody is nice, and Lisa and I both monitor it. So you're always going to be in a position where you're dealing with people who are coming from the same place you are. It's a supportive group is what I'm saying. So it's a safe, supportive group. I'm really big, folks, on doing all this in a safe environment. So I'm not only am I going to be teaching you protection and how to stay grounded and how to use your psychic abilities to live your best life, I'm also going to be making sure that this room is protected, that nothing comes into the space that doesn't belong there. We are, I see you folks as like fledglings, just spreading your wings. And if you want that fledgling bird to fly free, you need to create that safe, protective environment where it can practice and it can play and it can explore all of the different things involving the art of flying. That's how I see you guys. And that's what I create in this environment that you're seeing. So in our studies, we have our own environment that's going to help us to learn to use our abilities in that perfect, wonderful space. Okay, and Lisa's over here in the um, chat, and she's got a whole bunch of things she's saying that I think are important. Um, and I'm not going to talk about the things about Zoom because I'm not familiar with that. Lisa does say, though, that we're not using Zoom in our program. Not yet, at least. I use GoToMeeting. I'm familiar with that platform. So we'll be on GoToMeeting for our class this year. Okay. Um, Lisa also says we've never had one negative comment on this forum. She's talking about the community here for as long as we've been using it. And that's many, many years. It's been about 10 years that we've been using it. And it's really had amazing results with many, many, many people. So, folks, I'm just about done. Okay. For those of you who want to know more about me, here's a little something that might be of interest to you. Let's get this written thing out of the way here. I don't know why that's hanging out. Um, but here's an article that a friend wrote for me in a local newspaper quite some time ago. But it gives you a little idea. I don't know what's going on with it. Let's put it back. Okay, there we are. And again, you're going to receive this, so you don't need to read all about it now. But if you want to know a little bit more about me before our class starts, this will give you some basic insights as to the things I've done. Okay, good, bad, and ugly. And we will be starting soon. Before I close our session this evening, are there any last questions that have gone unasked? I see Kelly having one here. She says, "Hi, Sandy, I'm having mic issues that I hope to have fixed very soon." And she says, "I'm a teacher of the system." Oh, I'm looking at the beginning there. That's not Kelly asking a question. We already answered that one. Okay, I don't see any other questions, but I'll stay on just a minute or two more um, in case anybody has anything they would like to ask me. Now's the time. Here's another thing. If you have a fear of something in the psychic field, and I know this is kind of odd, but I do get a lot of students coming to my classes to understand their own experiences, i.e., somebody has seen somebody in spirit and wants to know if it's real. or they've heard voices and they're very frightened by it. And they want to know what it is, how to turn it off, how to turn it on, how to turn it up, how to not get them. I've actually had people come to my classes to learn to turn off their psychic abilities. I've had people come to my classes to learn how to control them because they're out of control and they have ceased to be able to know what's real from what's not real. Folks, I have taught students of all kinds from all over the world for over 40 years. If it's in your wheelhouse and it's something that you're having trouble with, there's a really good chance that I've already helped somebody else to work through it. Okay. I know I'm blowing my own horn here, but I think it's important for you to know that I can help you with whatever's going on that's either blocking you or frightening you or causing you perhaps to uh, let your own abilities control you instead of your taking control of them. Okay, folks, I can't wait to get started about a week from now. And now you've got this overview and you've seen a little bit of what the room we're going to be working in looks like. Everything you need is going to be delivered to you along with me and my teaching. Hope to see you soon. I don't see any more questions in that chat room, so I'm going to let you go. And I will see you soon.
Sandy.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Good
Sandy.
night, everyone.
Good
Good night.
night.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.